My name is Richard Gubbe and I run Cathedral Chiropractic and Osteopathy in Exeter. I'd suffered an injury playing rugby to my neck, and so I'd been to a chiropractor as a young person, and I always remember being very impressed that he sort of helped me with his hands, and I just thought to myself, wow, when it was suggested to me, I thought that's quite a skill, you know, he sort of fixed you with his hands and pretty much nothing more, and so that just appealed to me as something that would be a nice thing to do, really. A lot of my patients are in their sort of early to mid 40s, and what's actually happening is, it's very simple, their spine is starting to become a little stiffer. I think one of the terms that some practitioners would use is middle-age stiffening. And I had a very nice lady about 45 years of age who was complaining of pain between her shoulders. And as a chiropractor examining her, I felt that she was very stiff between the shoulders. And I said to her, look, you know, what's starting to happen here is the muscles and ligaments in your back are contracting a little bit. It happens to most of us. I wouldn't say it's a serious condition, but it can be very painful. And so I said, basically, you know, you're experiencing a bit of middle-age stiffening. So she took that on board and we did some treatment, and then she went online and came across the mobiliser, and so she hired one at home, and she gave me a call and she said, Richard, have you ever heard of a mobiliser? I said, yeah, that's that machine that Steve Redgrave likes. And she said, yeah, that's the one. She said, look, I've been using one. I took on board what you said about the middle-age stiffening that I have, and I'm trying to do something about it, and I've been using a mobiliser, and I really do think that it's helped me a lot. So that piqued my interest, and I decided to ring Back in Action as a practitioner and say, look, I've had feedback that this is an excellent machine to help spinal stiffening. It's what I treat. It's what most chiropractors and physios are treating with our back pain patients all the time. And so I said, could I come down and have a look? And so I went to Back in Action in Bristol and had a demonstration. What it helps us do is, within each session that when we see a patient, we're treating them with two different forms of spinal mobility. We're treating them with the traditional chiropractic treatment, but we're also supplementing that by bending and stretching them in a slightly different way. The two together, in my opinion, make the sessions a little bit more effective. Before they come in for a treatment, we put them on the mobiliser for 15 minutes or so, because what it will do, it'll just bend and stretch the spine a little bit before we start doing some traditional chiropractic treatment. My patients often refer to it as the icebreaker. It's just a way of getting them moving, putting some nice deep stretch within the spinal tissues before we do what we normally do. Some people will ask me if it's any good and is it really deep enough to make a difference? And the answer to that is try it yourself and see how deep it actually is. The great thing about the mobiliser is it does come with a softening pad. So if you wish to make the treatment lighter for someone that might be a little bit more fragile, you can do that. But you can then take the softener off, which will make the treatment vastly deeper again. You can also then put weights on somebody to make the compressing effect and the stretch that it gives deeper again. So the thing with it is, it can be made quite gentle if that's what you want, or you can make it very, very deep if that's also what you want. I think some practitioners are wary of gimmicks and things which will claim to do things which perhaps maybe they don't, but it is what it says it is. It is a powerful spinal mobilisation system, and it's very, very good at what it does, no question. Right, I often get practitioners that find us online and know we have one, and they'll often contact me about the mobiliser, and the first thing they will always say is it any good? And I'll say, yes, it is. Another thing they will ask is it strong? Is it reliable? All I can say is that we've had ours since 2011. We use it up to 6 times every single day, and we've never had a problem with ours. It's basically a bulletproof unit which is designed to go and go and go. It's a professional grade machine. It's not a gimmick, it's not a toy. It's been designed to go all day, every day, if that's what you need in a professional capacity. I hired one for a month just to see how it would go, and I called in all my stiff patients, and I just gave them all, rang them up and said, look, I've got something new. I'd just like your feedback on what you think of this. And so what we did, we brought each person down and gave them a trial, and I said, I just want you to tell me whether you think this helps you, whether it feels good, if you think it's actually doing something. And the overwhelming majority of them said, that's fantastic, it feels really, really good. And so we decided at the end of that month that we'd like to have one, because we just felt that it gave us another way of getting to people's problems. And yeah, for us it's been very successful.